All right, I am hearing that we are about ready to start our run of Aperture Tag, Beat the Game category by infrabread.
Good morning, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. How are you all doing today? My name is Infrared, and welcome to Aperture Tag. This is a community-made mod for Portal 2, released in 2014, and it can be best described as Portal without portals. I'll get to that later. To start off the run, there's two reasons I'm saying this. To start off the run, usually there is a big cutscene of about a minute, but the timer doesn't actually start during that. So I can load up the developer console and load a custom save file. Once I load in, I'll give a countdown to 3, and then there'll be a big white flash. And that is when the timer starts. If it's sensitive to flashing lights, I am literally giving a countdown to when it happens. Light splitters are ready. Are we good on time? Neat. I'll
All right,
load in,
okay.
then give a countdown. So 3, 2, 1, start. Righty-ho, this is the disembodied voice de jour that any Portal mod must legally have. This is Nigel, and he'll be our companion through the game. And this starting section is actually the starting section from Portal 2, but you have been bamboozled. It isn't. That's the exit door. First map of the game is pretty simple, and I will be explaining the movement techniques in all of the Source games. You can see my inputs in the bottom right, and that's very important because what I'm doing is bunny hopping. Well, bunny hopping and wall strafing, but I'll get to that. Bunny hopping is I've bound the scroll wheel to I've bound to jump to the scroll wheel so that I can effectively do frame perfect inputs every single time. As well as that, I'm going to toggle my crouch key, which is called crouch toggle glitch because we're good at naming things, and that will make sure I get frame perfect jumps every single time if I alternate them. There's some more movement stuff I'll get to later, but that's the most important one for now. First map is mostly just movement based. Line over these lasers. Doing that one first is slightly quicker than doing the intended way. And this is a trip ride. This will be how we go from level to level. Instead of elevators or lifts, if you're normal, there'll be one at every single map. And now, once I load in, there we go. We have a thing on our hands. There's an audio cue we need to wait for. Hang on. There we go. This is the paint gun. That's blue paint and makes us bouncy. You can place it on the walls to skip a load of stuff. Yeah, this game involves the mobility gels, which are found in the base game Portal 2. They have the blue repulsion gel, which makes us bouncy, and the orange propulsion gel, which makes us fast. It speeds us up depending on how long we walk on it. Both of those are going to be used very much for some very fun glitches. Actually, not that many glitches. Most of it is just movement tech, because I can just barely get up there. There is one very important thing I do want to mention. There we go. Called the double bounce. This is an intended mechanic of the game. Oops. Hang on. There we go. This is an intended mechanic of the game where if you stand on the blue gel, then jump, your first jump will be over one height, and then your second jump will be of a second higher height. This is to avoid you getting stuck in the base game. Now, that glitch I just did. Actually, I'll go to this one. This is what the double bounce is. I jump on this blue gel once, twice, and then I can land here. It is almost designed. These maps are almost designed with this technique in mind because it's perfectly the right height. I just love that. And the ending I just performed there, I'll do in most maps. There we go. Apart from this, I'll do in most maps. It's just crouching when I hit the top of this trigger, because I need to hit this trigger once, crouch, and then hit it again. Because of reasons, that will immediately load the next map. If you do that first try in every single map, that saves 2 minutes. I'm dead serious. What is it? And here's a fun one. There we go. There is Nigel. Hang on. Give it a few seconds. It's Nigel. Look at him in all his pixelated glory because I play on low settings. Anyway, that's enough for Nigel. Who cares? Now, with the... Yeah, most of this game is movement-based instead of heavily glitched. Or at the very least, the first chapter. Because... There we go. What I'm doing is called air strafing, where I'm strafing in midair, because we're good at naming things. It is specifically not holding the W key, and then move my mouse left and hold A, move my mouse right and hold D. That will increase my speed in midair. There is a speed cap, technically, of 300 speed. Doesn't matter what it is. For comparison, if I just hold W and walk forward, that is a speed of 175. So, with all of the, with the air strafing, if I get to 300, I can no longer strafe while in midair. That is, again, an intended mechanic in the game. I just ignore what I'm doing right now. That is, again, an intended mechanic in the game so that you're not able to just careen off course while playing the game normally. I'm not playing the game normally, so I do need to keep that in mind. Yeah, that first half, it was abusing the double bounce technique again to get to the very, very top of that wall. 3 things I just did there in the space of seconds was holding crouch while on the blue gel to stop me from bouncing. Again, that's an intended mechanic. What's to do? Yeah, and if I'm holding a prop or holding a cube and look straight down, then the object will get shoved to the side of me so I can actually place gel on the floor without placing gel on the object. With the elevators, no, with the ending trip rides, this map and the next 3 will have a really long one, so there's no way to skip these. If we have donations, now is a good time, because we have about 2 minutes of nothing.
Alright, we don't have any donations right now, but we got a bit to say about our sponsor. That being Fastest FursFall Fest 2022 is sponsored by Crocat Games. Check out their most recent release, Brock the Investigator. Now on Steam and GOG, Brock delivers a narrative-rich, fully voice-acted experience from a futuristic cyberpunk world where animals have replaced humans. This story is filled with characters reminiscent of the classic 80s and 90s cartoons and combines a classic adventure with a beat-em-up and RPG elements. Download the prologue and play the first of 6 chapters free on Steam, and donate at least $5 for a chance to win a copy of the full game on Steam it yourself. Find them on Twitter at Crocat Games.
Nicely done. I couldn't have done it better myself.
Thank you, Nigel. That was perfectly timed. Oh yeah, if you beat this part of the game too fast, then you can get Nigel playing twice at the same time. Whatever. I did many things there, all of that during that lovely ad break. Thank you very much, Dark. That chamber was, again, not a glitch, just a speedrun technique. I can stand on the very, very, very edge of a platform and grab a cube while in midair to avoid having to actually do the puzzle. The second cube was, again, using an intended mechanic. If I place blue gel on a cube, the cube itself would become bouncy, which vaguely makes sense. So there's no way to clear the gel from the cube, so the game just fizzles it immediately and I get a new one. Again, I can grab it while in midair. Now this map is kind of a difficult one, because I need to place gel on that teeny tiny wooden frame, and I didn't get it. I need to place gel on that teeny tiny wooden frame, bunny hop onto that, and third try, not bad. It is as difficult as you think it is. Once again, massive trip ride. Where this is the second, there's one more after this, but it's a lot shorter. Yeah. There's no way to skip these. Chapter 2, and now we get, as the title says, Speed Gel Upgrade. We get the second orange gel, which makes us go zoomies, which is good, because this game is meant to go zoomies. Hang on, I need to jump on a thing. Usually what we're supposed to do is is flick a lever to turn on that grate, where we can just jump on top of the geometry and get to that button a lot quicker. Now this is the second main glitch. This is actually the main glitch of the game, called crouch busting, because we bust. Because first we hold crouch and then we bust because we're good at naming things. If you look at the code of the game, this and Portal 2 regularly, your speed is calculated based on the time you spent on the gel, not the physical distance you traveled. So if you crouch, you're still on the gel, but you're not actually moving at a really fast speed. So you can get a lot of speed in basically no distance. And then from this point onward, I will be trying to do the dialogue skip elevator thingy with every single map. And we are speedrunners, so this map is supposed to be really long and complicated, but we can just do this and beat it in, well, 10 seconds. Yeah. Place gel on the floor and the ceiling to give us extra height using the double bounce mechanic, and then crouch burst end level. There we go. Now I should say, every single map starts on this Wii platform, and for some reason you need to hold W, because the dialogue trigger is on the floor, not when you load in. So you will see me hold W at the beginning of every single map to actually start the dialogue. It's weird, but it's one of the things about the game. Again, air strafing to not get that first try, air strafing to get that first try, and jumping around that thing, because now we have blue gel. And once again doing double bounces here to get to the very top. It's almost like it was intended to be speedrun. And line up. There we go. That's not actually that difficult, it just takes a bit of time to aim. There we go. That's a dialogue skip. Dialogue gets cut off and we immediately stop.
Introduction to Fizzler. This one should be pretty easy. And the song. What is this?
Placing gel on the floor and the wall so that I can get both height and speed in the same jump. There we go. And then again, I'm air strafing as much as I can to get as much distance as I can.
So this test does not count towards your performance.
And this is what happens if I fail the dialogue skips. I'm not going to reset for any. I'm only going to reset for one of them. That's the very last one because it's by far the longest. But apart from that, I'm not going to reset for many of them. Oh, I forgot about that dialogue. I was going to do a thing there. Can I? Oh, barely not. Yeah, this one is quite a difficult one because you need to go backwards. Place it there. Crouch burst. There we go. Not that bad. Yeah, that's really difficult. You need to go backwards. Again, gaining height and speed with the same jump. This is a map from the regular Portal 2 called Column Blocker, where we need to block that turret with a... I didn't get enough speed. We need to block that turret with a light bridge, or column, if you will, because Valve is good at naming things. Yes, beans. Please? Beans. There we go. One really weird thing about this game is that button I just pressed has a longer delay in this game than on the regular. It is, if you look at it in the level editor, it's half a second. Hard-coded. It's very weird. So learning this game is weird because you need to relearn that timing for that one map. Once again, crouch burst and a zoom to the end. Wrong color. Wrong color. There's only two. How difficult can it be? Not those kinds of beans, Saren, but close enough. And here comes one of the more difficult crouch bursts in the game, because we need to go from here to the ending door, which is there-ish. No, didn't get it. Need to go past two. You need to go past two pillars at the same time and still land there. Genuinely, this is one of the more difficult ones in the game. And I didn't get it. There. I'm sort of using the cube as a visual lineup. There we go. I think I misplaced my gel. Yeah, I misplaced my gel. It was too far to the right. Button. Lunk. Whatever. Unfortunate that it took me so many times, but that is genuinely really tight.
If you ever forget why we do this, it's because of science. But more importantly, for the future. Because testing is the future.
This map is sort of intended for the first half, but definitely not intended for the second half. Once again, beans. This part is intended, and just out of safety, I'm going to laser these turrets to make them go kasplooey, and then do that. You need to place the blue gel while you're on the platform because you have so little space. So actually, you're going to see me do that all the time, just out of habit. I'm going to be on orange gel, flick down, and then place blue. Now, this is actually the final map. There we go. So once I complete this, actually time's not coming up. I bamboozled you. Haha. This is the final test. We have an escape sequence and then another like 10 minutes or something.
Another mystery solved. For you.
Bing. Boom. Now instead of solving the chamber, we're going to not do that. Do another crouch burst here. And make our way to the end. That one's kind of tricky because you need to hold D, hold right to... It's really weird, just that ending section. Then this is sort of the escape sequence. I say sort of because we can literally skip the escape sequence and it's intended. I'll show you. First, get over here, and now we're going to do chair strats, because we are good at naming things. We're going to use a chair. Now, you remember what I said, if you place blue gel on a cube, it becomes bouncy. So does this chair, but if I throw it to the side, it doesn't bounce. So this chair doesn't bounce even though it has blue gel on it, because Valve is good at making games. It's very weird. Now the chair is not bouncy, but if we jump on it, we do get height. So we can jump over a big invisible wall there. Usually we're supposed to take a really slow lift down and actually get both gels to be on here. Actually, never mind. We're supposed to have both gels here, but we're going to not do that. And when I said we're going to skip the escape sequence, yeah, there it is. It's just a giant button there. What? Okay, I messed up my binds. There was a command in the game called stop videos, which I should have had bound to spacebar, but I didn't. Anyway. Can I get it? When the gel is sus? Sort of, I don't know. Yeah, there's literally a button to skip the escape sequence. It's about 50 seconds. That is a reasonable time save. What I'm trying to do here is line up on the floor to skip over this fizzler. I want to go right, left, right. Go to the right to go through it. I want to get past this and keep my gel. There we go, that's why I keep holding that button. It's quite a tricky one. We need to go, well in my case, right to get past the ceiling, then left to re-enter the trigger, and then right again to go over it. I wasn't paying attention. That is genuinely a difficult trick, but it means we have both gels going into this map, and we can not make that jump. Back up there. And there we have it. We have both gels, so we can just crouch boost to the end, because we... Done. Yeah. Crouch those ending dialogue triggers in Chapter 4. It's exactly the same technique, you hold crouch once, but the timing is just later into the entire chapter. I don't know why. It's a different ship rider model, I believe. But the loading trigger is just shoved up physically higher. Dark, shall I do the difficult thing or the easy thing? Never mind. I'm going to do the easy thing. Using a double bounce again to double bounce an airstrafe to get right over here. Boom. The more difficult version of that is similar to what I did earlier, where I use my first jump on the floor to act as the first jump. It saves one jump and saves about 3 seconds. It is really difficult. Because you need to have everything perfectly timed. What's this one? Right, Faith Plate. This one's actually a really fun one. We're going to do a cube boost, or a cube bounce, because we're going to bounce off of the cube, because we're good at naming things. Get orange gel. There we go. Get the cube. Correct boost over there. This is all easy. Now what we're going to do is line up on this Faith Plate. And lag the game out. There we go. Now we're good. That is a very weird one. This is cycle based. There we go. That's a very weird one. We jump on the Faith Plate, giving us horizontal and vertical speed, and we bounce off of the cube to remove our one of those horizontal, yes, keeping our vertical speed so we can air strafe to the ending section. Again, saving quite a lot of time. Unfortunately, you had to do that twice, but no big deal. Now you see how I wait in the previous map, I waited for the big spiky things, because I don't want to get mashed by big spiky things. In this map, I'm going to not wait for the big spiky things. I'm going to hold D. Yeah, because those spikes don't actually go to the end of the platform. If you stand there, you can just hold right and make it. Game design. Speaking of game design, this is a stuck launch, because we get stuck and then we launch. I need to reload. The game thinks we're moving down and gives us quite a lot of speed. Never mind. The game thinks we're moving down, so it gives us speed, but we're still stuck in these props, so we're not actually going to move anywhere. Can I get this, please? This game was actually the game where this glitch was found, and it's actually used in regular Portal 2. Can I please get this? Okay, there. Boom. And because we have the blue gel on the floor, we can just bounce straight to the ending. That's the wrong color. Oh man, this is a run. You're supposed to do that first try and not lose 37 seconds, but I'll anything for charity.
Now this test chamber is located in a real desert.
And here is the other really difficult crouch burst in the game. Not this one, but the one after it.
I know I will.
Clunk. We need to land exactly on a Faith Plate. Gaming. And now comes the difficult one. We're going to do the crouch burst off of there. Hopefully I can do it in a reasonable amount of tries. So... Nope. No. Yeah, whatever. I'm just not going to do that. That is genuinely a really difficult one. So I'm just going to do, I suppose, the intended route of just doing everything backwards. I mean it, that is really a difficult one.
Okay, just head over to the vending machine and...
I just cannot get the dialogue skips in Chapter 4. Yeah. It's a different timing, it's just later, for some reason. Then, this map, we're supposed to... Hang on. We're supposed to go to the end and then actually use both gels to gain speed and gain height. But we can just bounce off the scenery, if I can get it. We can bounce off the scenery and land on this platform. Or gel there, crash burst to the end, et voila! I think I keep going too early for those. Anyway. I think coming close to the end of the run, actually. Another double bounce to get onto this section. And then there and there. Save and bounce to the end. Boom. And because we're so fast, we can get Nigel playing twice. I keep going too early for those. Now coming up is the second to last map in the game, so I will need to know which ending I'm doing, because the ending affects the very last map in the game.
Alright, it's going to be the good ending.
Right, that's the slower one. Lovely. So we're going to see more game. Good ending. Nice. So step 1 is simply strafe around that corner, which is genuinely very difficult. And here is actually a really fun one. We're going to... There we go. Bounce just barely high enough to get our body through the fizzler. I have the cube go above us, and I got the dialogue skip. Hell yeah. That saves 20 seconds. That is by far the longest in the entire game.
This is it. The
So now, good ending. I'm going to... actually, don't need you for now.
maybe not so grand finale.
No. I need to do a double bounce here. Boom. This actually used to be the old speedrun brute. But now we don't do that anymore, because it's slow. Also kind of difficult. Yeah, because you need to bounce off of this wall. I haven't practiced this in a while because I was expecting to do the fast thing. There we go. We have a hole in the wall, we're just going to go through there. And
Again? You did your business not so long ago. Why do you even bother with exploring your surroundings?
there we go. That's a pit of lava, or fire, or whatever, and now we're not going to die. Hooray. Now we can do the ending normally again. Actually, I should have done it. Yeah, whatever.
Now that
Boom.
you got that out of the way, we can go back and
Now we're going to do a
finish
similar type of jump. And then one very last crouch burst to the end.
Brilliant. Now go ahead and get on the platform.
Oh, no, never mind. This one we need to place there. And then there. Good enough. Right. Ending platform ride. That is the end of the game. We have this platform ride.
We are almost
And then the extra ending will get in place. So what I did there was two things. I did genuinely quite a difficult jump off of a sign so that we can do a similar thing as in the previous map, where our body goes through a fizzler and our cube doesn't. So our cube stays. Then destroy these turrets, because Nigel is very good at making traps. Yeah. Boom, and go to the end. This is messed up. This is just part of the game, because shadows and reflections aren't quite calculated correctly. So, yeah, it's a feature.
I can't shed out too
Ugh.
many details, but get ready.
There are the turrets that are supposed to kill us, but yeah, this is Nigel, so yeah. Now, we're going to have loads of tins of Citranium, which is like Fanta, but somehow even worse. This is the Science Juice, which is the sponsor of Aperture Tag, and also can lag the game out, because Source is a very good game engine.
And that concludes our testing. I must say, you were a great.
Now, this is where we are supposed to die. Well, that's why I'm jumping on this. But because of the good ending, we're going to get an elevator to the surface, or a lift to the surface. Science Juice. Yeah, that's our lift, which is supposed to be lowered and then it drops. So, this is the good ending. It is an extra 3 minutes, more or less. And with some extra dialogue from Nigel. Another female test subject who almost destroyed Aperture Science. I wonder who that could be. I do quite like this. Cryptic hint system. Yeah. There's a lot of little Easter eggs in a lot of these maps featuring the cryptic hint system. They're actually really funny because Nigel has some extra dialogue. Now we're going to get this long lift to the surface, and I will actually be quiet because this lift... Also, yeah, hey, that's me. Because this lift is actually quite reminiscent to the... I'll just show you. I'm not going to speak for a while. Bam. This is reasonably similar to the ending credits of Portal 2 regularly. Timer can come up in, I think, about 20 seconds, because we're going to escape into the wilderness, but not really. I'll give a countdown. Escape into the wilderness, but we have a ceiling above us, and there's a light. I wonder what could go on. Timer's going to come up. Ceiling's falling down. 3, 2, 1, time. There we go. That's the end of the game. These are the credits. With a fantastic song, I will say.
All right. Well, thank you for the run. And if you have any shout-outs or anything else you'd like to say, now would be the time.
Well, of course, I just want to thank the Portal 2 speedrunning community as a whole for just existing. This is, of course, the base game Portal 2 as well as individual levels of said game, which actually inbuilt timer in the game itself, which is quite nice. That we all on the official Discord server, we also have channels for mods. We have Aperture Tag and also a more popular mod called Portal Stories Mel. That's the more popular mod to run. We have that as well as daily challenges for the individual levels, as well as just any other random guff which Discord servers have. That's really all I want to say. Specific people. The world record holder of this game, Can't Even, he's also just incredible in Portal 2, and he has a whole tutorial series for Portal 2 if you want to run this. I do want to thank Nidboy for discovering the end level dialogue skips, which is just literally hold crouch and then you win. Apart from that, I can't think of anyone else. I'm just blanking at the moment. I guess that's it. That's me done.